Yeah, there's life after death. Because Jesus Christ, I confess, He's the one to free me from all stress. I pass all tests, won't settle for less. Plus I serve God and you know He's the best, excelling over others. There's none quite like Him, amazing, faithful, how the Bible describes Him. Word, powerful, performance, illogical. If you believe, then all things are possible. Dark clouds gotta fade away. They can't stay with me another day. Because my God won't delay or hold back. He's quick to react, respond and attract to me Christ's format. So over drum tracks, we spit the real raps to praise God, no matter where your mind's at. So I get back to where God's at. In His presence, you see there's no lack of the future. Alright, man, I'm out. Deuces. Hi, my name is B.E.R.I.D.O.X, and that is spelled B.E.R.I.D.O.X. It's actually an acronym which means Brian educates radically, informing disciples of the unknown. X, which is in mathematics, is usually represented as unknown. But in my mission and my goal to bring forth music, I'm really exposing the truth in Jesus Christ. So my music will talk about God, my music will talk about Jesus, my music will talk about life, talk about what I go through, and relate and connect to listeners, supporters, fans, those who are looking for more in music than just the entertainment factor. And that's what I bring forth. So B.E.R.I.D.O.X is who I am. What I do is hip-hop music. As you heard in my explanation of my purpose, my hip-hop music is driven more or less with a gospel theme. So you can say I'm a gospel recording artist. You can say I'm a hip-hop recording artist, or you can label it as Christian rap recording artist. Either way, when you hear the content, you hear the music, you hear what God has gifted me to bring forth, and that's what I choose to do in my music, and will constantly push that to be the major theme. I do music because I understand that it is a gift that was given to me. I, since a young age, had the ability to be drawn to music, so I really understood where music was coming from and heard it in so many facets, from one kind of sound all the way to the next. And when I was growing up, what became a new style of music, which was hip-hop, it was very different. No one was singing as much, and people were kind of writing poetry in long format, verses, choruses, and I grew up in that generation where hip-hop was the cool thing or the young thing, and that's how I developed and figured out that I actually had a gift in writing rhymes. So initially I just wrote rhymes. I can remember in 5th grade I had a friend named Tone, and we would rush home after school to go in my house and hit the dining room table with a radio recording the hitting of the dining room table, and we would freestyle from the top of our heads and just freestyle about whatever was coming to mind. That was my first true introduction to rapping. Probably by the time I got into 8th or 9th grade, I started actually having ideas of writing my own rhymes. Now, at that time, I was young, and I was only writing based off of everything that I heard that was going on, what I heard others writing about. And remember, at this stage, all of this music was brand new. So there was no true one way of doing things. So the culture was all generally secular, worldly minded. What's going on in the world? What do I see? And that's the kind of music everyone was writing. So of course, like everyone else, we get pulled into it and we get swayed into writing about anything. But it didn't go anywhere in the secular arena. By the time I graduated from high school, by the time I joined a group after high school, we would go recording and nothing really produced out of it. And after a while, my true calling on my life was revealed, that God had selected me and called me to serve Him, just like He selects and presents opportunity for everyone. How the Bible talks about God so loved the world and He gave His only begotten Son. So that's an opportunity for anyone to receive Jesus. Now, I grew up in the church. I attended church on Sundays. I attended church sometimes Friday nights, sometimes Wednesdays nights, Saturday mornings for youth group, Sunday morning school, maybe Sunday night church. It depends on the time of the year. But again, back then, we didn't have what we have today, where you have Christians who do hip-hop music, who are bringing forth a message and being able to pack it in such a way to make sure you understand that it's cool to serve God at a young age. So initially my rhymes was on some other stuff, but once I started focusing in on serving God, I got married. It was understanding that the gift was there, so I needed to pursue it. Now keep this in mind, back then I did not have a musical gift to produce music. I was just an MC. I was just a lyricist. I was just a person who wrote rhymes, as you say, a rapper. But I didn't know anybody who was doing Christian hip-hop music, or who was doing hip-hop music with the focus of talking about God and what an individual's going through. So the Lord blessed me with $99. It was working, so it wasn't that hard. But went to, I guess the store used to be called Service Merchandise, and purchased my first $99 keyboard. And that's where I started molding and crafting an ear, as God was giving me the gift to create and produce music. And of course it escalated from there, moving into the Ensoniq ASR-X, the black box sampler, synthesizer, then moving into software, starting out with Cakewalk, and it progressed until we are here today. So that's who I am, and that's definitely what I do.